everyone, I'm here with Andrei, Toda and Mia Linnik Holden, and they are like 6 times national champions and 6 times world champions. So I've been lucky enough to work with them through lockdown, and one of the things that I find is really great with them is that they've really been able to use this as an opportunity instead of an obstacle. And they're really kind of taking their dancing to the next level. And in general, they're just really young, talented, and inspiring people. So I thought it'd be nice to kind of share a little bit of that with everyone to kind of stay motivated this time. So hi guys.
Hi. It's an absolute pleasure to be here
and
to have this interview. We're really excited for it. Definitely.
Yeah.
We love sharing our information and our advice to all the other dancers. That's what we want to do, express ourselves.
Perfect. So first of all, tell me how you're doing and how you're kind of coping with lockdown.
So it's a bit of a difficult situation in the UK right now because we've been put in the 3rd lockdown, and it's not great for the dancers to be stuck in at home and not training and not having lessons, because everyone loves having lessons and improving. But I think what's really important to find ways of how you can improve at home and how you can maximize dancing at home. Try and do everything possible to improve in your own setting. You can't really moan. You gotta, how can I say, use what you've got. So that's what we've been trying to focus on and look at the positives of what we got, not the negatives. I mean, yeah, we don't have a massive studio to practice in. That's not available. Like, I don't think it's available for anyone really. So that's the downside. But instead we're thinking like how we can improve at home. Let's do some cardio. Let's do some exercises that we can keep healthy, keep fit with, and also how to improve dancing by having Zoom lessons with our coaches and keeping focused on improving in dancing.
Yeah.
So obviously we work together on goal setting. So can you kind of share what goal setting has kind of done for you, or how you kind of use it in general in your like dance career, or maybe how you used it in lockdown?
Well, it really helps a lot, doesn't it, girls? Especially because we did it sometimes, but when we started working with you, we used it a lot more then, because it made us realize how important it is to goal set, because it basically puts your mind into that position of like, that is where I want to be then and now and wherever. So we do that quite a lot now, don't we? Where we say we want to be in this year's time, or we want to be in next year's time. And working on that is super important, I think, because it helps your mind stay so positive and looking towards newer and better things, instead of maybe looking towards the past and maybe what didn't work as well as what it did for you now or anything like that. So we always try and look for newer things. So when we go to practice or when we're practicing at home, we talk to each other and say, so what are we going to do today, and what is our goal for the end of the practice? And even just practice sessions, we try and set a goal, and then we feel like really accomplished after we've done that, because we feel like, oh, it's been a productive day, we've finished that goal. So doing that is already putting your mind in such a better place, because obviously your mind can kind of spiral during this time. It is really hard to stay in a positive mindset always, but doing something that you feel like you've accomplished something at the end of the day really makes you feel like amazing. Like, even if it's just a workout, you've done an ab workout, or you've done a couple of exercises to help your dancing, it makes you feel like, wow, that is good. Like, you basically ticked it off. And then obviously you work for more bigger and better goals. So like, one for us is like winning the under-21 British, and we already know that we want to tick that off by the end of the year, hopefully. So definitely. That is already one that we're aiming for. But again, we're constantly thinking about that. So when we're going into practice, we want to be the under-21 world champions. So that is like our goal. So we basically practice to what that standard is as well. So we have a lot more productive practices as well. We get a lot more done with the goal setting process. So yeah.
I mean, I definitely think also we were really lucky to work with you, Kristina, because you have definitely opened our mind into this direction. Before, I don't think we were so specific with setting goals. We just thought, let's have a good practice. I'd like to win junior, let's say under-21 amateurs, but that's
I think that's
far
what
away.
We said a lot of time. We would like to. We would like to do that. But now we say we are going to do it, or we are going to achieve that, or
and also
we've done that. So
we've got goals set for 1 year time, then 5 years time, 10 years time. We've got like long-term goals and short-term goals, which really help, because it makes you keep focused in your practice, but at the same time, you got a vision of where you want to be. So it makes you really, really focused on what your path is And I think that's what would really help all the dancers. If they can stay focused during this time, this would be what can help you improve.
Yeah, and I think you really managed to do that. So that's really, I think, inspiring for everyone, and not just obviously with your dancing, but with your training and fitness and all these things outside. So how do you kind of, because I think everyone kind of wants to know this, how do you make sure you kind of stay on track and do it? Because sometimes, I don't know, you just feel like you want to watch Netflix, and then how do you make sure that you do it?
I mean, we have them days as well where we just feel like, you just want to stay in
I
bed.
think you have to have them days as well. You can't obviously train constantly because your body won't be able to do it. So definitely don't feel bad about them days, guys, because trust me, we all have it. And it's good to have them. It's good to give your body time to rest and everything. It's like we don't work out or dance every day because, like we said, you need to have time to rest and spend time with each other. So but obviously when it is time to like do the crunch them days, like you really have to, I think we think of what the future is and what like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is really important, I think, to see basically the end into this. So I think, like again, goal setting is super important to see that, and then I think it'll really help you to really achieve that. And also results do help. So with fitness goals as well, seeing the results, I feel like makes you push hard. And especially with me, what happened from like, really toning up and everything, when I started to receive the results a lot more, I wanted to work even harder and push harder. So I think it's the hardest part is getting into it first, because obviously the results don't come like that. It takes time, it takes practice, and I think it's super important to push through that. And we always say there's a barrier that you have, so it's like a 40% barrier, and when you've reached that barrier, you have to push past it to get your body to pass that barrier.
So your body kind of limits yourself to your 40% capacity, so then you start feeling pain or you start feeling
and
blocks, so then you got to push past that to actually achieve your capacity. And actually what kind of helped me stay focused is having a picture and an image of what I want to be and like what I want to achieve. Andrei told what does he want to be, and then every day try and bring, even if he's not practicing dancing, every day bring something that will make you proud and make you become the person you want to be. So if it means I did a toning workout, or I read something that really helped me, or I went on a run, anything, every day, if I can choose one or more things that will help me towards building this into this person that I want to be, that's what keeps me satisfied. Let's say that's what makes me keep my mind at ease. Like, I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I need to do. I don't need to start stressing that I'm not doing enough. Because as long as you do one thing that will help you, that's all that matters,
I think it helps a lot with mind as well. It definitely does with me. If I've, I kind of, what we do every night as well before we go to bed, we kind of set out our day for the next day. And I think it really helps when you basically get to tick it off. So write it down in a notepad. I do it on my phone, and I tick it off when I've finished what I've done. So I wake up at 7, even waking up early feels amazing. Like, I think that's a good way to start off. Like, try and not wake up late, guys, because I think everyone started to do that during the first lockdown.
You get later and later each day. Like, today's 10.
I'll have an extra hour. But seriously, guys, I would recommend waking up early, because you have so much more to do then in the day. You can wake up early, have a nice breakfast, then do your workout, go on a nice walk. We also recommend going on a walk every day. Try and get out as best as possible, because in the house, I feel like your mind just goes all fuzzy.
You need a place to break free and let your just
and they actually say when you're on your walk, you're actually at your most creative point of your day. So because your mind's basically nowhere, it's free and it's empty, and because you're basically just in the fresh air. So it's good to get on the walk, because you'll actually find new thoughts, new feelings, and maybe come up with maybe a new idea if you want to start a business, something like that. You can be so creative on your walk. So really try and get out. We do a daily dog walk, a 6K.
We're lucky to have a dog as well, so that helps. Like, you have to go on a walk.
You have to.
You don't have you're forced to go outside with it, otherwise they'll start crying at your legs like, when's my time to go walk? So
but even if it's just for yourself, super important just to get out, because like I said, in the house it does get a bit stressful and a bit.
And also, when you're used to traveling so much, and when you used to go to lessons, and then you're stuck in the house for a full year, you still need that place to travel. This traveling sensation, this traveling feeling that you get, You can get that from taking a walk. You can get that from going on a run, going to the park. That's fine, you know,
Like,
as long as you stay away from.
I love going shopping now, like food shopping, like just getting in the car, going
Yeah,
somewhere.
you feel like, you know, you're doing something.
It feels like you've
Expecting
accomplished something. So it's just nice, like a walk again. You're accomplishing something of the day, and again, it just basically puts yourself in a nice mindset for when you go to sleep at night.
And I think you said like definitely two things that are so important is like, first of all, to keep a structure, because I think once you lose that structure, that's when it like becomes like you watch it for 10 hours and then you're like, what happened to my day? And then you start feeling, you know, everything goes in the wrong direction. And then also like you said, seeing the results, but obviously to see the results, you need to track the results. So like really making sure you kind of track progress and making it as a plan.
Definitely.
And just being like, oh, I have this goal of becoming a champion, but you don't really know how you kind of get there. So that's
because we actually said if we wake up later than 9, oh, there's no way we're getting out of bed. Like, but we feel like so lazy. Then it's just like, oh,
but
like
some days it's okay, you can accept that. Some days,
course,
but if it gets a habit, then that's when it's a problem. I mean, some days, you can have a lazy day, and it's good to kind of plan a rest.
Every week we have like one of them lazy days where we just, you know, chill out,
might do a workout, a walk, but
enjoy each other's company, watch Netflix, and we're watching Bridgerton at the moment. That's our favourite thing.
But I mean, it's healthy to plan your rest, because if you keep thinking go all the time and you don't rest, it's not healthy. It's completely the opposite effect to not working out at all. So.
And then it's so important when you have those days, then that it's a choice. You say, okay, today I'm just going to rest, and then you don't sit all day and feel guilty that you should have done that work.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, just accept that today is like a full rest day.
Actually, another thing that really helped me and Mia from your sessions, actually, what we remembered and really found helpful, when you said have a kind of goal for your practice sessions, when you said expect something, you know what to expect from a practice session. For example, if you don't feel well, agree that you don't feel well, and then you can expect
sometimes we would just ignore that and like, you know, we've got to dance our best.
We were expecting 100%. We were expecting 110% every session, every practice. Would go in thinking, I've got to smash it. I've got to literally dance like it's Blackpool final now. But it's impossible. Your body sometimes feels tired. It feels when you can't. Everyone knows that you can't dance.
It was normally at like the end of like the week, let's say. So when we were coming to the last practice of the week, it was normally always on that day because our body was drained from doing hours in the day and we hadn't rest. We've been doing workouts and it was always on that last day. And it was just like, well, come on, we've got to push past it, you know.
And that's when you get frustrated.
And then you start getting frustrated with yourself. And then you might take it out on each other. So it's super important that you want to make sure that you understand if it's that time to stop.
And know what to expect from how you feel. Really analyze how you feel and really analyze what the setting is that you're in. You know, are you ready for a full final practice? Are you just wanting to do a technique practice? Do you want to just do a workout? You know what to expect, and so then you can be satisfied
really
and happy.
Helped us as well because we actually was communicating a lot more with each other then, especially with your sessions. We started to communicate more in practice because sometimes we'd be like, yeah, that's good, let's move on. And lockdown really taught us and you to really communicate and think, oh no, that didn't feel the best there, let's go through that again. Really take our time on maybe a certain thing, maybe one day work on that, not try and rush through every dance because we want it to be a productive practice.
Yeah, it was very vague, wasn't it?
Practices can be just doing ankle work or feet work. That can be a productive practice because that's what you guys or what you want to do on that day. And so super important to communicate with your partner. Even if you are a soloist, you have to communicate with yourself. If you're not feeling the best, if you're just, not up for it for that day, you've got to basically say, okay.
And that's fine. You can work harder the next day. You don't have to do 110%. I mean, people think you do. You've always kind of got to be expecting a lot of yourself, but not to the point where you're making yourself frustrated and
you're
tired, and ill. And
because the thing is as well, it won't end up being a productive practice because
exactly,
you're trying to do stuff your body's not letting you do. So it's actually be a lot more productive if you just sit down, chat with each other and see maybe what you need to work on for next practice, and that would be a lot more productive.
Yeah, and that's like we talked about as well. It's not really about not pushing yourself. You want to push yourself to your limit, but sometimes you can't expect that you're going to do 10 finals every single day. So it's not an excuse to be lazy, which is of course not really your problem anyway, but it's just a way of like making sure that your expectations are realistic, because otherwise like what you said can happen is that our expectations are so high, and then we just end up getting so frustrated that we actually get nothing out of the practice anyway. So it would have been better to set it somewhere in the middle. So what is the most important lesson that you kind of learned during lockdown?
I think that was literally that was one of the points where I realized, I'm gonna admit it, that's fair point, because before I used to have such high expectation of myself every single practice, to the point where I would go out to practice and feel like I'm not happy with this because it didn't feel like I was trying hard enough. But at some point I was so feeling so ill, like some days I was having a headache or my leg was hurting or anything like that, you know, what is normal. And because you weren't able to give 100%, then you go out of practice thinking, have I stopped improving? You know, have I gone down?
In a mood all day, like, because you haven't been productive. So that was probably one of our biggest lessons, and that is probably when we actually started to improve, like way more, because then we started to listen to each other more, we communicated with each other more, and it literally since then it went up straight away. And thank God that was at the beginning of the lockdown.
that did help. Like, it was in the first lockdown, literally it was like to start with. So we're just thinking like everything you do is still a brick to the foundation, you know, it's still something to help, you know, unless you do nothing. If you do nothing, then it's your own fault because you've done this to yourself.
The time you have.
But I mean,
we also said as well, time you can never get back, which is super important. So let's say, you know, you do have a haul and you're really lucky, make that time the best time you've ever got in your life, because that has also made
how lucky you are.
Has really made us appreciate what we have, you know, family time, dancing. It's really made us appreciate, you know, we've got each other,
exactly,
and we're really lucky that, you know, we live together, which is amazing. Like, I feel sorry for couples that can't live together in such a hard time. So we basically pushed each other through it, and if one of us
it didn't feel like lockdown because we were so lucky to keep motivated, keep working hard, keep busy. That's I think the worst, when you feel like you're doing nothing and every day is the same.
We are keep lucky as well that we do get on so well, like we never argue. And
that does help.
It does help. We literally never argue. So every practice we did have, it was always a productive practice because we always spoke to each other. We never speak to each other in a bad manner, and that's also another thing. Never speak to your partner how you wanted to be speaking to, because like obviously it's not nice, and again it makes everyone in a mood, not productive. So try and make the most out of the time you have with your partner, especially.
So if there are any dancers out there kind of watching and they're like dreaming of like making it in dancing, and maybe they don't have the results that you have yet, what would you tell them, or what would you give them as advice?
That's a hard question because it's so many different.
There's lots of
different types of dances, you know.
I think I would say to never give up. One big thing, never ever. Let's say, you know, you haven't had a good practice or you haven't had a good result. It's all that building stage. You have to build up to get there. We've had bad results in the past, but the thing is, you actually learn a lot more from negative and worse results than you would do from a good result, because you know, oh, that was a mistake. I need to learn from my mistakes then, because we had one bad result, didn't we? And it turned us completely, because we was like,
in a positive way. It actually turned us
because it actually made us like, well, that's never going to happen again. And we wanted to
if it does, we'll make sure we're doing everything to stop it. You know, we're not going to just sit there and like accept it. Because that's the worst thing you can do.
So also as well, everything, you know, it doesn't come like that. You have to practice, and that's what I always say in my makeup lessons as well. You know, never be upset if it hasn't gone the best, or you know, it doesn't come like that. It's like any hobby sport, you have to practice it to become the best. And that's one thing. Keep practicing, keep loving what you do, search up on the internet. Internet is a great thing. Like YouTube, we always say YouTube is a fantastic source of information. So search up things, you know, even if it's a motivational speech, something like that. You can find so many things on the internet will really help you get through a hard time like this as well. So yeah, keep pushing. And also, there's no age to a dancer. We always say that you could start at any age and become champion.
I mean, probably my advice would be never be afraid to have high dream, because I think people are like, yeah, but that's too high of a goal for me. I can't see myself doing that. But why not? Have big dreams, but make sure you do something towards it. Like, you know,
don't just sit there and think, oh, I'd like to do that.
Oh, I'm going to be a world champion in professionals. Right, what are you going to do about it to get on that path? You know, have them dreams. That's completely normal. That's great. You need to. Otherwise, if you don't have any goals or dreams, then you can't improve. You got nothing to push towards. So have them dreams, but also work hard towards it. Don't just sit there thinking it will happen, because it won't. You need to put in the hours, put in the work towards it.
Yeah, and you definitely put in the work and still doing the work. So that's
we still got a lot of work to do.
A lot to do
for our goals, especially. Like, we've got pretty high goals.
We've got a lifetime
pretty high
of work
expectations. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to kind
love it.
and see where that takes you. But I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for talking to me, and I'm sure it will be really helpful for a lot of dancers out there, and maybe
we hope so.
More motivated during lockdown as well.
We really hope we do.
Yeah,
we really hope
pleasure. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much.